Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. First of all, I welcome all of you to our coaching call number 25. So, in this coaching call, first I will revise chapter number 3, which is strategic alignment, then benefits management, then stakeholder engagement in around 10 to 15 minutes, and then we will do some questions from these chapters, which are the important ones. Okay, so in the first, everybody can see my screen, strategic alignment. Okay, good. So in the strategic alignment thing, the first important document that we are making is the program business case. The important keywords of business case are economic feasibility, validity of benefits, justification of the resources, primary justification for an investment decision, cost benefit analysis, success criteria, alternative solutions, and it is an input to program charter and program roadmap. It means that the business case should always already be ready before we are going to prepare charter and roadmap. Formal declaration of the value, high level risk, key assumptions and constraints. Strategic alignment is initiated because from the program phase we are in the program formulation phase. Sub phase serves as a formal declaration of the program benefits, establishes the authority, intent, philosophy of the business needs, and provides direction for structure, guiding principles, and organization of the program. So these are the key words of the business case. So whenever he will be expecting the answer of the business case, he will give some hint out of these keywords. Then comes the program charter. It authorizes the program management team and assigns and authorizes the program manager. So the keyword here is authorization of the program team and program manager, defines program scope, purpose of the program, key stakeholders, timing of the program. So if in case he will talk you about the key stakeholders, don't get confused with stakeholder register or stakeholder engagement plan. In stakeholder register, there are the key stakeholders along with their some of the characteristics, the role, influence, power, something like that, much more analysis of. And also when we will do the stakeholder analysis and we go further, stakeholder register will be updated. But in the program charter, that based on that analysis of the stakeholder, that is not updated. And the purpose of mentioning here the key stakeholders is that at the beginning of the program we should have the rough idea that who are my who are my key stakeholders. So that is the purpose of writing the stakeholders in the program charter, and nothing to do with their characteristics or their role or their position. That will come in the stakeholder register. Timing of the program, success factors, high level benefits, goals and objectives, high level risk, assumptions, constraints. This is common from the business case. Link the program to organizations strategic objectives. It is derived from the business case because business case has already been made. Enable program strategy alignment. It is used to measure the program success, include metrics for success and clear definition of success. So whenever he talks to you about success factors, it is in the program charter. Whenever he talks to you about success criteria, that is in the business case. Then we have a program roadmap, which is a chronological representation of program's intended direction, graphically depicting dependencies between major milestones and decision points, linkage between business strategy and the program work. Major program events also same like the milestone. Important is reflects the pace at which benefits are realized. And another thing is that once the benefit management plan will be updated, program roadmap will also be updated. It serves as a basis for transition and integration of new capabilities. Assess the program's progress towards achieving its expected benefits. Show how benefits are delivered within major stages or milestones. Include component details, durations, and contribution to benefits. Depict how benefits are delivered through incremental releases or series of models. Effective way to communicate overarching plan and benefits to stakeholders, provides a visual of when return on investment may help. So whenever he talks to you about graphical representation, visual presentation, linking of the milestones, pace, when something will be delivered, events, it is all the roadmap. Defines the structure of the program components by relationship among the components and evolving aspects of the program. Then we have EEF, which is only business environment, market funding. Just go through it. This is not important for the exam, but just keep in mind that the environmental factors are throughout the program life cycle. So he can ask you that at any moment we can get the guidance or input from the enterprise environmental factors, and throughout the program life cycle at every phase, at every step. We have to keep them under consideration. How we can do the environmental analysis, that is comparative advantage analysis, feasibility studies, SWOT analysis, assumption analysis, and historical information analysis. Then we have risk management strategy. What are the thresholds? It is a measure of the degree of acceptable variation around the program objective. Then we do initial program risk assessment. Once it is performed, a risk response strategy is developed to complete the program risk response strategy, and we make the program risk response strategy. So therefore, program strategy alignment therefore is a program performance domain that is initiated during the program definition phase with the development of business case, charter, roadmap, supported with inputs from enterprise assessments and program risk management strategy. This upstream effort results in the development of program management plan because we are in the program planning subphase that is aligned with the organization goals and objectives. So this covers your strategic alignment, uh, complete keywords. When we come to the echo of this domain, we perform initial program assessment to ensure program alignment. So whenever he's talking to you about program alignment, we do initial program assessment. Then we have document high level roadmap. It is with milestones and preliminary estimates for initial validation and approval from the sponsor. Whenever he will ask you that which document contains the milestones and preliminary estimates. So here the keyword is preliminary. That's why we have to go to the high level roadmap. Baseline for program definition, planning, and execution is also the high level roadmap. And remember, this high level roadmap is different from the program roadmap. So the keywords, if you need the answer of high level roadmap, it is the preliminary estimates, and the baseline is the keyword here. Program mission statement gives you the program direction. Then we have to evaluate organization's capability to assess the program alignment to the program strategic plan, define organizational benefits to develop preliminary program scope, and define a benefit realization plan. High level benefits to obtain funding authorization, evaluate program objectives. So whenever he talks about objectives, goals, then he will give you something about alignment. Okay. So whenever you have to link something or to align something, so he will be talking about objectives level thing. And obtain organizational leadership approval by presenting the program charter to receive authorization to initiate the program. So whenever the word is authorization for the program, it is a program charter. Evaluate integration opportunities to align and integrate benefits and exploit strategic opportunities for change to maximize the realization of benefits. So for every thing, why we need to why we are doing everything is to get realization of the benefits. Opportunities, alignment, stakeholder engagement, stakeholder buy-in is only to get their support for the program and ultimately realize the benefits what we are trying to achieve from this program. Is it clear? Strategic alignment, eco, and the topic. Rajan, Tasin Sahab, any question?
Clear, sir. Clear.
Okay. Now we come to the program benefits management. A benefit is a gain and assets. This is clear to everyone what is a definition of benefits. First of all, we identify the benefits. It includes defining the objectives and critical success factors for the program and identifying and quantifying business benefits. Then we make a benefit register. We collect and list the planned benefits, communicate the delivery of benefits. It is developed based on the business case because business case will always be referred in the subsequent domains and subsequent documents. Whenever we go in the governance plan, also business case is the guiding document. When we are making the benefit register, again it is a guiding document, and so on. It is reviewed with key stakeholders to develop appropriate performance measures, mapping of planned benefits to program components, KPIs, thresholds, risk assessment, status of progress indicator, who is responsible for delivering the benefit, target dates and milestones, and tracking and communication process necessary to record program progress and report to the stakeholders. So benefit register will be updated, and we will show the progress of the program by updating the benefit register, and subsequently we will convey that information to the stakeholders. Benefit analysis and planning, establishing the benefits management plan, defining and prioritizing program components, defining KPIs, establishing a performance baseline, updating positive and negative risk to one or more when the more information becomes available. Then we do quantification of incremental benefits, timing, quantification, and qualification. Then we comes to the benefit management plan. So here we have to see the major difference bounded between benefit register and benefit management plan. What is the answer in which we are going to give benefit register and what in which answer we are going to give benefit management plan. First of all, the key word is how. When he tells you about the strategy, how you will do something, then the plan is the answer. If it is in the benefit management plan, how you will realize the benefits, what are the strategies, what are the guiding principles, answer is surely benefit management plan. Subsequently, when he is going to ask how you are going to manage the stakeholders, how you are going to communicate with them, how you are going to keep them satisfied, how you are going to keep them engaged, the answer will be the stakeholder engagement plan. Means plan, for plan to be the answer, the keyword is how or the strategy, something like that. It formally documents the activities necessary for achieving the program plan benefits, identify how and when benefits are expected, baseline document that guides the delivery of benefits, identifies associate activities, identify how and when the transition to an operational state will occur, defines each benefit and associated assumptions, link component outputs to planned program outcomes, define the metrics, KPIs, define roles and responsibilities, process for managing the overall process and how is the same thing, establish the program architecture, and as the benefits management plan is modified to reflect changes in the program pacing, program roadmap is also updated, because in program roadmap we are getting it is showing us the pace at which how the benefit will be delivered. Then we have the benefit delivery phase, ensures the program delivers the expected benefits as defined in the benefits management plan. What we do in this, we monitor the organizational environment, initiating, performing, transitioning, and closing the components, and managing the interdependencies among them. As it is coming in the program delivery phase, that's why he's talking about the components here. Evaluating opportunities and threats, evaluating KPIs, recording program progress in the benefit register, and reporting to key stakeholders as directed in the program communication management plan. So how you are going to communicate will come from the communication management plan, and the program progress will go in the benefit register. And there is always a cyclic relationship between benefit analysis, planning, and delivery. Then we have benefits and program governance. The key aspect to consider is whether program components and even the program as a whole are still viable. The resulting benefits review, required analysis of the plan versus actual benefits across a wide range of factors. Then we have to see strategic alignment is always there, and value delivery. Strategic alignment means focuses on ensuring the linkage of enterprise and program plans, on defining, maintaining, and validating the program value proposition, and on aligning program management with enterprise operational management. And value delivery means focuses on ensuring that the program delivers the intended benefits. Then we have a benefits transition phase. Ensure benefit program benefits are transitioned to operational areas. So whenever we discussed last time also, whenever the keyword is operational areas transition, then it will be a transition plan or transition phase. Verifying that the integration, transition, and closure of the program and its component meet or exceed the benefit realization criteria. That is our checkpoint or the reference point. Develop a transition plan to facilitate the ongoing realization of benefits when turned over to the impacted operational areas. Again, operational is mentioned here. Stakeholders in the receiving organization are identified and participate in the planning. Receiving organization or function is responsible for all preparation processes. So in the transition phase, ultimately receiving organization is responsible for this thing. Multiple transition events, or can be even no transition to operations. Transition can be maybe from one program to another. What are the activities what we are doing in the benefit transition thing? Evaluation against applicable acceptance criteria, review and evaluation of acceptance criteria, review of operational and program process documentation, review of training and maintenance materials, review of contractual agreements, determine if the resulting changes have been integrated, activities related to improving acceptance of resulting changes, transfer of risk, readiness acceptance, and disposition of all related resources. Benefit sustainment phase. Benefits may be sustained through operations, maintenance, and new components. Benefits sustainment plan should be developed by the program manager, and sustainment activities are done by the can be done by anyone even after the program has ended. So this benefit sustainment activities, it is the only activity in the whole PgMP domain in which is continued even after the program life cycle has ended. Ensure provided capabilities continue and resources are returned to the organization. Reliability and availability for use, continued suitability, continued availability, improvement in process, and providing on-demand support for results. So these are all parts of the sustainment activities. Establishing operational support, updating technical information, planning transition, planning retirement and phase out. So phase out is a very important keyword for the exam. He can ask you about the phase out. It is in the sustainment activity. And develop a business case and the potential initiation of new projects or programs to respond to operation issues. So he can ask you if something has to be initiated to continue potential initiate a new program. When you're in the program closure phase, it means you are in the program closure phase, and in the benefit sustainment activity, you find out you have to initiate a new program and a new business case. Monitor any outstanding risks affecting the program benefits. If we come to the echo of this domain, benefit realization plan and its measurement criteria to set the baseline and communicate to the stakeholders. One baseline was for program definition, planning, and execution. That is a high-level roadmap. The benefit realization plan is to set the measurement criteria for the benefits and communicate to the stakeholders. Identify and capture synergies and efficiencies to update and communicate the benefit realization plan. Sustainment plan for the management of benefits beyond the completion of the program to ensure the continued realization. Monitor the metrics to take corrective actions and maintain or improve benefit realization. Verify that the close transition and integration of constituent projects and program meet the benefit realization criteria. So whenever it talks about acceptance criteria, realization criteria is coming in the benefits domain. Task is very, very important. Maintain a benefit register and record the program progress to report the benefit to stakeholders via the communications plan. Update benefit realization and sustainment plans for uncertainty, risk, determine if productive actions are to be taken, and develop a transition plan for operations to guarantee the sustainment of products and benefit delivery by the program. So he's talking about the transition plan here. Any question in the benefit domain or chapter? Testing Sahab, Rajan? Okay.
Clear, sir. Sometimes, sir, one more thing.
Yes.
Regarding this benefit transition and benefit sustainment.
Hmm.
So it's actually overlapping each other, no?
Yes. Only
when we are transiting something.
Yes, when transiting to operations, then it will be a benefit transition activity. If the keyword is giving the operations, then it's always transition. And when he's talking about improving something or adding something or sustaining the thing, or or another keyword is phase out activity, or for continued realization, then it's a sustainment activity.
Yeah, sometimes his question is not clearly mentioned, but it's a benefit sustainment. Sometimes I'm confusing that whether he's talking about only transition or sustainment.
Okay, but now it's getting clear a bit.
Yes, yes.
Okay, good. So then the third topic that we have covered is stakeholder engagement. Identifies and analyzes the stakeholder needs. We can do impact analysis, stakeholder engagement, two-way communication. We know all the communication between the program manager, stakeholders, portfolio manager should be a two-way communication. Who are the key stakeholders? This will be covered in the governance roles also. Program manager is a champion for the change and understands the motivations of each stakeholder, sets clear stakeholder engagement goals, assess the governance framework, manage interdependencies between components, and report on overall program funding and health, manage, monitor, and track benefits realization. Program stakeholder register. What is the components of the stakeholder register? List the stakeholders. Here he is talking about listing the stakeholders. In the program charter, there was a list of key stakeholders, but here in the register there are a lot of other things also. So it should be very not confusing whether we are talking about the charter or the stakeholder register. Categorizes their relationship to the program, ability to influence the program or outcome, degree of support for the program, other characteristics or attributes. Program team uses it for reporting, distributing program deliverables, and providing a formal and informal communications. It contains a sensitive information, so it's not a public document. It can be secured, and program manager should prepare and update the register as required. And we will see in the echo when he's talking about the position of the stakeholders, then the answer is the stakeholder matrix. In the stakeholder register, he is not talking anything about the position of the stakeholder. Just to make you clear here. Program sponsor, he provides resources and support for the program, and he's accountable for enabling the success. He's a champion for the program, secure funding, enable the delivery of benefits, remove barriers and obstacles to program success, decision making authority, and has a leadership skills. So this is all part of the sponsor. Program steering committee or program governance board, it provides guidance, endorsements, and approval through governance practices. It is responsible for defining and implementing appropriate governance practices, provide capable governance resources, oversight, monitoring, and leadership, approve program closure or termination. Authority for program decision making is established in the program governance plan. Project manager, he is responsible at the project level or the component level. He lead the teams responsible for achieving program objectives, manage project interactions, oversee conformance, and stakeholder engagement. Team members, individuals performing the program activities. PMO is very important from exam point of view. It standardizes the program related governance processes, facilitates sharing of resources, whereas sponsor was showing availability of resources. It is only sharing the resources. Methodologies, tools, and techniques provide centralized support, facilitate governance practices. Customers use the new capabilities and drive the anticipated benefits. He will influence whether the program is judged to be successful or not. Suppliers, the product or service providers, and regulatory agencies are something which provide mandatory standards and responsible for setting and managing the regulatory and legal boundaries. After identifying the stakeholders, now we have the stakeholder register. Then we do the program stakeholder analysis. Program stakeholder analysis means program manager categorizes stakeholders in order to analyze them. Categorization will highlight differences in their needs, expectations, or influence. Questionnaires and surveys for a greater number of people. Key information is gathered through open-ended questions. A prioritized list is developed to focus on who has the most influence, positive or negative. Then we have a technique known as power interest grid. It groups stakeholders based on their level of authority, which is power, and level of concern, which is interest regarding project outcomes. The overall stakeholder register and the prioritization of stakeholder engagement activities should be regularly reviewed and updated as the work of the program progresses. So it means that stakeholder will be continuously updated, and we already said it's a dynamic document. Stakeholder map visually represent the interaction of all stakeholders, current and desired support and influence, as assess the impact of a change on the program community, takes into account the interest, influence, involvement, interdependencies, need for interactions, partnerships, and needs to be, it reminds teams of which stakeholders need to be engaged at various times in the program lifecycle. In the exam, he will ask you about only the characteristics of power and interest. The answer would be a power interest grid. When he talks to you about some other characteristics or more than 3 characteristics, the best answer would be stakeholder map. Then we do program stakeholder engagement planning. It outlines how all program stakeholders will be engaged throughout the duration of the program, following aspects for each stakeholder are considered: organizational culture, attitudes, relevant phases, expectation of program benefit delivery, degree of support, and ability to influence the program outcome. Then we make a stakeholder engagement plan. It contains detailed strategy for effective stakeholder engagement, includes engagement guidelines, provides insight into how the stakeholders are engaged in various components of the program, defines the metrics used to measure the performance of stakeholder engagement activities, includes measure of participation in meetings and other communication channels, degree of accept active or passive support, strive to measure the effectiveness of the engagement, provides critical information used in the development of program documentation. So this is all how we are engaging the stakeholders. What is a program stakeholder engagement? It is a continuous program activity. Stakeholder register, map, engagement plan should be referenced and evaluated often and updated as needed. So when we are actually interacting with the stakeholders, when we are going to actually do the engagement with the stakeholders, we have to consider register, map, and the stakeholder engagement plan, because these are the three documents that we had already made before. And based on all the information that is available with us in these three documents, we will do the stakeholder engagement activity. May require facilitated negotiation sessions to help establish common high-level expectations. Program manager provides appropriate information contained in the charter and business case. All interactions with the stakeholders are logged so everybody can document and use it. Same thorough analysis of the participation trends is done: who is attending, who is not attending, why they are not attending. Then we can do the root cause analysis later on. Impact analysis is used to understand the urgency and probability of stakeholder issues and determine which issues could turn into program risks. Then program stakeholder communication is at the heart of program stakeholder engagement, because engagement can only be done via communication. So that's why when you will see engagement and communication are throughout the complete program lifecycle domain. It is a vehicle for information sharing, negotiation, and collaborating among team members. Strategy is crafted for each stakeholder as identified in the stakeholder register. Communication requirements such as what information should be communicated, language, formal, when it will be communicated. Questions from curious stakeholders and the answers should be captured and published in a way so that whatever one stakeholder is asking, any question, any query, should be public so everybody can benefit from that. Decision making stakeholders should be provided with adequate information to make the right decision at the right time. When we come to the echo of this domain, number one, we identify stakeholders and create the stakeholder metrics to document their position related to the program. So when he will talk to you about the position, answer is a short stakeholder metrics. You cannot give stakeholder register as answer. And this position keyword is not in the stakeholder register. Perform stakeholder analysis to create the stakeholder management plan or stakeholder engagement plan is the same thing. In the book, he is using engagement plan, and in the eco, he is using management plan. So nothing to worry about. Negotiate the support of stakeholders while setting clear expectations and acceptance criteria for the program benefits to maintain the alignment with the program objectives. Maintain visibility for the program and confirm stakeholder support to achieve the program's strategic objectives. Maintain communications adapted to different stakeholders to ensure their support for the program. Evaluate risks and incorporate them into the program risk management plan. Whenever he talks to you about any sort of a risk, we have to go to the risk management plan. Foster relationships with stakeholders to improve communication and enhance their support for the program. Is it clear? Any question? Testing sir, any confusion in the stakeholder domain?
It's clear, sir. It's clear.
So in the questions, stakeholders is not disturbing much, right?
Yeah, sir. It's not much.
And also in the governance domain, it is covered easily.
Yes, yes. I think not much questions from governance, so not a
Yeah.
problem.
Okay. Good. So let's do some questions. Can you see my screen? Question number 178. Okay, let's start. Yasin Saab, answer. Okay, Rajan, can you read the question?
You have been assigned as a program manager in the organization. What should be performed by defining the program objectives, requirements, and risks in order to ensure program alignment with organization strategic plan, objectives, priorities, vision, and mission statement?
Okay.
Program planning, formulation, initial risk assessment, I ruled out, but I don't remember. But whatever that I chose A. So what is the reality? I'm still not dead sure, but I can rule out program planning, formulation, and initial risk assessment.
Okay, so here the keyword is program alignment with organization strategic plan, objective, priorities, vision, and mission statement. So he's talking about a certain document or certain activity which has to be done very early in the program stage. This is clear to us, right? So he is giving you a very basic or first step what he's going to ask for you. That is the first thing. So in this thing, as he is covering everything, if he is talking only about the risk, for example, if he say what should be performed by defining the program risks in order to ensure. If he talks about only risk, it is risk assessment. But here he's talking you about everything about the program, objectives, requirement, risk, and alignment with strategic plan. So the correct answer is A, initial program assessment. It's a tough question, difficult to understand, but this is how you have to see which thing we are covering in it. Thing. Okay. Rajan is laughing.
Thing is, we have forgotten that eco. So whatever that eco that I studied yesterday, that I'm able to remember. This looks like something new to me.
Okay. So that's why we are doing the coaching also. You keep on reminding. Okay, good. Next. Caesar, please read the question.
Yes, sir. You have been assigned as a program manager in the organization. What documents will be established with milestone and preliminary estimate in order to obtain initial validation and approval from the executive sponsors.
Hmm.
So the here keyword is initial validation.
Yes.
It's not and approval. So that one will be high level roadmap,
Good. So the keyword was initial validation and preliminary estimates. If it
preliminary
yes,
estimates.
if it talks to you about which document will be established with milestones in order to get in order to show the pace of the program, or establish a milestone to show the delivery of the benefits of the program, something like that, or then it will be a program roadmap. That is clear.
Roadmap. Yes,
Okay.
sir.
But here he's talking about milestones and preliminary estimates. Preliminary means he's talking something about as a high level document. And secondly, about, as Tassin Saab said, initial validation. So that is also giving you the hint that the program roadmap will not be the answer, whereas high level roadmap will be the answer. Okay. This you have to keep in mind. Okay. Next. Okay, so this is a relatively easy answer question because now you got the click from where I am giving the questions. Okay, so what document will be established in order to set a baseline for program definition, planning, and execution? So here the keyword is very straightforward: baseline for program definition, planning, and execution. That is a high-level roadmap. So correct answer is B. 181. Rajan, please read the question.
You have been assigned as a program manager in the organization. You define the program mission statement by evaluating stakeholder concerns and expectations in order to establish which of the following. So business case can to be that's so it's an eco state. So program direction is what is the answer. So
What is the keyword here in the question?
anything with mission statement,
Hmm.
the direction, then it is
Yes.
program
So
direction.
he can also ask the question in such a way that what will you define by evaluating the stakeholder concerns and expectation in order to establish the program direction. So the link between the mission statement and is the program roadmap. So we cannot say that the mission is there, or we have no other option rather than giving the following the mission statement with the direction. That's all. So the correct answer here is C. 182. Yes, sir, please read the question.
Sure, sir. You have been assigned as a program manager in the organization. What will you evaluate by consulting with organizational leaders in order to develop and assess the program objectives and alignment of the organizational strategy? So the key words here is alignment to the organizational strategic plan.
Hmm. And what is the answer?
So the answer is organizational capability.
Why?
That one is also because program objectives and alignment to the organizational strategic plan should
Hmm.
be as per the organizational capability. How much the capability of the organization, as per that one, we can decide the strategic plan for the
Right.
program.
Right. Right. Rajan, can you give the correct answer is D. But why you selected D?
I was able to remember that assess organization capability,
Hmm.
but there are some questions that I am able to remember. There are some questions which I am not able to remember. So, is this the right way of studying? That's
No,
my
the remembering question is not appropriate. Remembering the linking of the keywords is appropriate. Means if you remember the echo, like mission statement is always with the direction. This understanding is clear. But you should not remember the question because he can ask you in the answer direction, also the mission statement, like I said. Okay. So, like we have the highlighted keywords of eco, you should have a clear cut understanding like high level roadmap is a baseline document and it gives initial validation. Now, if he wants a high level roadmap, he will give you these two keywords. Whatever in a however form of the question he comes is not important. So, question from the mocks, question from the question course, you should not remember, but you should only remember the linking between the keywords. Okay, let's do some stakeholder questions. But now, Rajan, you are able to link how the questions will be made from.
yeah. I'm able to link. I'm able to link, but I'm not able to remember everything. So I studied stakeholder yesterday, so I'm able to remember that. But
Okay.
anything that was done before, I have a vague idea. I'm not able to.
No. I'm just asking that you know how to remember the
Yeah.
That is important. Okay. 87. Okay. So what is the keyword? Rajan, why it took so much time? What is the main reason for maintaining communication with the stakeholders? That is the main question he's asking you, right? So let's use elimination technique first. A, possible.
Yes.
B,
to ensure stakeholder alignment for the programs. I think that's not the right state. There's nothing like stakeholder alignment.
It should be to ensure alignment with the program objectives, alignment with organizational goals and objectives, alignment with your strategic alignment, something like that. But stakeholders, we don't need to align the stakeholder. He's a human being. We cannot align him. So B is from the wording not appropriate. Okay, so we can eliminate B. C.
Correct. C is out of question.
Why? Why?
It's only
Who?
the sponsor. It's only the sponsor of the
Yes.
suit.
So sponsor is also a stakeholder, but I just said to you that if he is talking about champion of change, champion of program, accountability, responsible, so for that things we should have a particular stakeholder, not a general stakeholder word. Then he should give you sponsor, program manager, something like that, not a general stakeholder. So C is also eliminated. D.
D is to get program benefits delivered. It's a common thing, but based on the echo that what I remember, I think we have to go.
Oh no, the correct answer is A for sure, clear. But I want to, we are discussing this because when the question comes, then you can easily eliminate. Okay, so B and C are clear out of question. D, who is delivering the benefits? Is it stakeholders?
Okay.
No, we have to understand that what he is saying. Apparently looks very attractive. What is the main reason for maintaining communication with the stakeholders? If I send the benefit, I send the email daily to the stakeholder, or I give you, you are my stakeholder, I give you a call every day. Will it ensure, it will only ensure that you are stakeholders supportive for the program, because stakeholders, we only need to get their buy-in or engage them, the stakeholders, only to ensure they always support our program and they are the leaders for the program. Okay, so if you see why echo of the book is saying this is correct, it technically also makes sense. This is what I want to say. Okay, so D, stay, because stakeholder is not delivering the program, the benefits. The program itself will be delivered by the program manager who is responsible for that, and ultimately stakeholders, which is the customer or suppliers, will give us the feedback for the success or not success. You know what we saw in the master sheet. Okay, so the customers are you, they provide the input to make whether the benefits are successful or not successful, but the communication will not help you to get the program delivered. Okay, so this is also understanding should also be there. So the correct answer here is A. 88. Okay, Rajan, read the question.
As a program manager, you are reviewing the stakeholder register. You notice that some of them are against the program, are not willing to talk to anyone. They have neither attended any meeting nor you have ever met them. What should be your approach to dealing with such negative attitude stakeholders? So call them for and invite them for dinner is ruled out. I will not choose that.
Because it's not ethical. It's again respect, fairness, honesty. So you cannot invite somebody for a dinner or something like that. Okay, this is not a formal approach.
Okay. Develop and faster relationship with stakeholder. Why I did not choose that is the
Okay, go to C first. First, go to C.
Okay, ignore them and don't contact them. I will rule out that.
Okay.
So this is some kind of an escalation where report this issue to program steering committee. So as you said, that escalation should be the last one.
Yes.
So develop and faster relation. Why I did not choose this option is you already tried this and it did not work out. That's
No,
what,
where have
you
you
can't
tried?
develop. You
No,
cannot
no.
develop and. No.
Where is written that you have tried to develop and foster relationship? You only noticed.
Mm, mm,
You are reviewing the stakeholder register. You only have a piece of paper in your hand. You see what is the starting point? You are reviewing the stakeholder register, and you notice that in the stakeholder register, you saw that some of the stakeholders are against the program. Means based on their attitude, you are analyzing them. They have no participation in the meeting. What should be your approach to dealing with such negative stakeholders? This is the topic of now actually executing program stakeholder engagement. Okay, this is what he's trying to say you have the stakeholder register, you have a stakeholder engagement plan, you have analyzed them. Now what will you do? That is B means develop and foster relationships with the stakeholders, or in other words, carry out stakeholder engagement. And if in case he would have said that you tried to develop foster with the relationship, however still they are not willing to talk to anyone, or they have negative, then D will be the answer. But here you are only doing analyzing the paper. So after doing all the story of stakeholder engagement planning, updating the stakeholder register, we have to do stakeholder engagement. That is B.
right. And anything like escalation is cannot be the right answer for most of the things.
Yeah,
So I
yeah.
should have not.
This is, the last. If you are not able to handle anything, you should not be a program manager. Okay. So just keep this thing in mind. Whatever comes, first try to solve that option by yourself. Don't shift your responsibility to others. That should be our mindset. Then we go, okay, something I have to do, and something, if something, everything is out of control, I have tried everything, nothing is working, and there is a possibility that this issue or risk can go to the above level, can alter the delivery of benefits, or go can escalate to the portfolio level, for example, or it is harmful to the organizational strategy. Then the answer is report the issue to the program steering committee. Then it's out of your hands. Okay.
Like that.
Testing sir, is it clear? I am doing this discussion so in the exam,
Yes,
because
sir.
because
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
in the exam he will surely give you one correct option. This is what we are discussing, but other three options will be different. Okay, so that's why I am trying to discuss why this is the correct answer. You know what I mean? Because I know what he will
Yes,
give you as a correct options. It has to give you B, but A, C, and D will be some other another wording. So that's why when we are
yes, sir.
discussing it, we can easily eliminate it.
Yes.
Okay, 89. Okay, why is it important to generate and maintain visibility for the programs and confirm stakeholder support? So A, we can eliminate, because achieve program benefits has nothing to do with the stakeholder support, right? We already discussed before. Achieve funding is out of question because sponsor is doing the funding. Why not D? Rajan, why not D?
Give stakeholders buy-in for the program. So by generating and maintaining, you cannot get. It's just a communication. You cannot get stakeholder buy-in.
Yes.
Either you give a project charter or a business case and you get an authorization, then you can
So
get some buy-in.
actually, yes. And why C?
Frankly saying, I remembered it, but I'm not sure whether
Okay,
achieve.
remembering is one thing, but here the key point is that A and B are out. This is clear to us, right?
Correct. Right.
Okay. Why is it important to generate and maintain visibility for the programs and confirm stakeholder support? So actually, here the focus is on generate and maintain visibility for the program. There's always we are looking for the program that they should only is to achieve program strategic objectives. This is talking about alignment with something. Okay, we actually need a document or something to maintain and generate. So program is here, it is always aligned with the strategic objectives. Remember we saw visibility, value, alignment and strategic alignment. That was the topic that we were discussing. So that is coming from that point of view. Whenever at any stage of the program we have to make sure that we are working on something which is aligned with the strategic alignment, with the program objectives, and it is delivering us a value. If he talks to you about why is it important to maintain communication with the stakeholders, why is it important to keep the stakeholders engaged throughout the program lifecycle, then the answer is D. Achieve stakeholder buy. We need to involve them so that they always support our program and they have the buy-in for our program. But here he's talking about the maintaining and visibility of the program itself. So the correct answer is C, which is alignment with the strategic objectives. Or another option would be achieve, to ensure the benefits are delivered, something like that, or alignment with the delivery of the intended benefits. Okay, 90. D, so this is correct. We already discussed whenever he's talking about position of the stakeholder, the answer is the stakeholder metrics, and this is coming from eco. No other discussion on that. It's very straightforward. 91. Okay, as a program manager, you are evaluating the risks. In which document will you incorporate the risks as necessary? So C and D are eliminated because we are talking about the risk, nothing to do with the stakeholder. Uh, why not A, Rajan?
Risk register is just an artifact where you list all the risks. You don't analyze it or you don't evaluate that. That's not the role. So risk management plan is the how factor, what needs to be done. Risk register is just a paper which has all the risks and who's going to handle it.
List of benefits, and when we are analyzing something, will you, or he will say you that as a program manager, will document will guide you how to handle the risks, or what you will do, what to do with the risks, how your risk response has to be prepared. Everything will be coming from the risk management plan. Chelsea sir, is it clear? Because from the risk will
Yes,
be
clear,
with the
clear,
risk will
sir,
be a
clear.
lot of questions. Risk will cover you a lot
Yes,
of difficult questions.
yes. It's clear,
Okay,
sir.
okay. 92. Okay, what should you do to handle this situation? You are a program manager for a multi-million dollar program which has three projects A, B, and C. During program delivery phase, a stakeholder complains to you that he did not receive a very important and critical information about project A. What should you do to handle this situation? Let's discuss. Why A, add the issue to the program risk register. Possible?
It's quite possible, but anything that is related. So one thing that we should know that communication plan will have the how, when, what,
Okay.
whom,
Yes.
that
So it
factors.
doesn't make sense to add in the risk register because yes, it can go in the risk register, but by putting something in the logbook will not solve the problem. We have to think in this way. If something happens, the easiest solution is to just write it down and put it. But as a program manager, we have to find a solution to that also. Okay, that is also thinking, as I told you before, as a program manager, as a project manager, I am here to solve the problems. You see, my first thinking and another thinking is that putting something in the lesson learned register, update the issue register, update the risk register means you're only fulfilling or putting something on the paper. So that will also be less probable answer. Okay. B, review and upload the stakeholder.
Also, I think issue is not the right. Maybe add that risk to the program register. Issue is more related to issue
Okay, I
log.
mean, I'm giving a general picture.
Yeah,
I mean,
you
putting
know,
anything.
even I didn't realize that once you were trying to read it again. I thought that might be also.
Putting anything in the register means only putting it and throwing away. Okay, this is my thinking.
Correct,
Review and update the stakeholder register is why not possible? Because the stakeholder has already been identified. We don't need to go into details. Who is the stakeholder? What he is complaining about? Okay, Tessin C. Review and update component communication management plan.
Yes, okay. That one is mentioning component communication management plan. So that one is below that one. So
Yes.
below the program level, that is the main thing. We have selected the option D.
Right.
So
If we write only review and update program communication management plan, then that will be our first priority. Why? Because it
yes,
is related to the communication of the
yes,
something. So
there is
as here
something communication gap or something like
communication error,
this.
communication management plan. But here,
Yes,
although it's a project A, B, C, D, but he the you see here during the program delivery phase, a stakeholder, and this is surely at the program level. Okay, complains to you that he didn't receive a very important and critical information about project A. Also, project A is the component of the program, that is clear, but the stakeholder is sitting at the program level. So this stakeholder, the project level plan will not help you to communicate with the stakeholder register. Sorry, with the program stakeholder. You understand what I'm trying to say? At the communication level, component level, only if we can only if we say that the project manager of A is having some problems, for example, from his own domain, from his own project, then the correct answer would be review and update component A communication management plan or component A stakeholder engagement plan, some at the component level. But here the stakeholder is at the program level, so it means that the program level plan will solve his problem. Risk register, stakeholder register is only putting something, it's not solving the problem. Component communication management plan is at the lower level, so the correct answer is D, which is review and update the stakeholder engagement plan. 93. So he is saying that you have different stakeholders and everybody has a different demands. One has interest in cost and schedule, and others have interest in quality and benefits. So what should you do? A is there, you should follow the program team members as internal stakeholders. No, because as a general principle, from the agile point of view, customer is my ultimate most important stakeholder. So this also you have to keep in mind from the all the PMI examination. I'm talking about every PMI examination. The most, and especially in the hybrid model, even in the PMP now, you have a lot of agile and hybrid and project level. So the most important stakeholder are always your ultimate customers, because even your stakeholders are satisfied, internal team members are satisfied, but if the customer doesn't accept your product, then you have nothing. Okay, so A is not correct. B, you should follow the customer organization to achieve the intended benefits, can be one of the option if there is no other option. So we keep B as a standby. Meet with the stakeholders and allow everyone to follow their priorities. This is not possible because we have to have a common benefits for the programs, common understanding for all, from all the stakeholders about the benefits that are going to be delivered. D, you should balance the stakeholder needs by using negotiation among the stakeholder group. That is the correct answer. And negotiation, as I told you before, means give and take. You accept something from one side, you give away something from the other side. So the correct answer here is D. Okay, 94. The objectives of the program impact a large number of population. Public organizations are commenting negatively on your program. Objective, what should you do first? Rajan, A, update the stakeholder engagement plan.
So without analyzing, you cannot do any kind of action plan.
Updation, right. B, perform risk analysis of negative media coverage about your program.
It's already happened, so this is not a risk, it's an issue.
Right. C, okay, first discuss D. Meet with the program steering committee to discuss the problem and determine the next steps.
First, this is what should you do first, and the
Yes,
second thing
it
is
is the last
you
step.
have not done.
Yes, you are not. We are not done our part. So C, review the program stakeholder register to determine the ability of these stakeholders to affect the program outcome. So actually, we are doing the power interest grid here. If they have the power to distract our program, surely then we will make some actions. But if they are only low power, low interest, or something not on the priority metrics, let them do whatever they say. Okay. So remember, in all the things, very important, I'm going to say one line here. Whether you have a risk register, whether you have a stakeholder register, whether you have a benefits register, once you have gotten everything documented, the first step is to analyze something, review something. Then we have to make some action. Then we have to make some corrective action, not action, something at the other part. But you cannot directly jump into any action. So just keep in mind whenever you in it's valid for every PMI exam. Whenever you are to analyze, unless you don't analyze, don't jump, don't do any action, don't do any change request, don't accept anything. First, see whether you have identified that thing. Overall, first thing is to identify something, whether it's a benefit, either it's a stakeholder identification, it's a risk identification. The first step is to identify something. Once he is giving you the impression you have identified that thing, the next step is analysis. You do the analysis, you do the impact analysis. He can ask you, you can do a lot of different type of analysis, but the key point is analysis. Then third step is to make the plan. How to do this? It can be engagement plan, that can be a benefits management plan, whatever is the thing. But the concept principle is that identify and analysis. So the question will be moving around in these two steps. Okay, last question from this call, 95. Yasin Saab, read the question.
Yes, sir. You are an experienced program manager in your company. While you are reviewing the formulation procedure in the company, you notice that there is no procedure to manage the suppliers. What should you do first to obtain program approval? Option: create a stakeholder engagement plan. We are still in formulation procedure, so
Hmm.
very early. Not
Right.
so plan is just a strikeout.
Okay.
Meet the program team to identify and analyze the stakeholder. So still we don't have any team. We have not started yet
Hmm.
to formulate the program team. So that
Hmm.
also it will be strikeout.
Okay.
And option D, meet the program project manager to identify and analyze the stakeholder. So still, these all related to the project. It will come under the delivery phase.
Hmm.
So that also is strike out. So
Right.
the straightforward option C is the right answer.
Okay. Rajan, why A?
I just read that procedure and I just clicked. I
Okay.
did not read that first to obtain. I think similarly, you are reviewing the formulation procedures.
Yes.
Clearly
So,
says that.
Yasin Saab, excellent description, excellent understanding. You are on the right path. You see here, in the previous question, I explained what is the first step of anything: identify, analyze, then making the plan. In the previous question, I gave you this sequence, and Rajan was also writing it: identify something, analyze something, or plan something. What is the trick in this question? You are an experienced program manager in your company, so you directly guess that the program is already in progress. That is the first trick point I put here. Normally I put you are a program manager in your company, so you don't focus on yourself. So here the tricky was distracting point was experienced. Okay, then while you are reviewing the formulation procedures in the company, you are just reviewing it. You notice that there is no procedure to manage the supplier, so you are in the program formulation surface. So so this is a story what he's trying to build. What should you do first to obtain program approval? To obtain program approval means still we don't have business case, we don't have program charter, we don't have program roadmap. So ultimately we don't have program management plan. Stakeholder engagement plan is part of program management plan that is made under program planning surface. Okay, so A is slowly and slowly going towards the elimination. And meet the program team to identify and analyze the stakeholders. This identify and analyze the stakeholders is correct. This we know, it should be identify and analyze the stakeholders. Then we have to differentiate between B and C. C says analyze the business environment to identify key stakeholders and perform. So he is giving you the hint: analyze the business environment. This is among the first step that we are doing in the program formulation surface when we are looking to the organizational objectives, organization goals, and towards the business environment. And still we don't have any program team. It will be we are authorizing the program team in the program charter. So the excellent understanding of the scene sub. So the correct answer here is C. Is it clear, Rajan?
Yes, sir. I'm clear. Yeah.
Okay. So I think it was very good. We did clearly discussion on chapter 2, 3, 4, 3, 4, 5. So this should be clear to all of you. Tessin Saab, is it clear? Any question?
It's clear, sir. It's clear. Everything is
Okay.
okay.
Very good. So thank you very much for attending the call, and we see you in the next call.